I mean, I thought, see, the way that that sort of ended with Morgan doing her Bring Me Back to Life and the memorial and lighting the candles, that was fun and light. But people, the fans get real serious about everything now. And there's just another reason to hate Tyra. And it's kind of like, I was thinking about it in like comic book terms, and it was like, you're sort of like one of those classic comic book villains who's like the hatred of the fans took a nice person and twisted them into a super villainous who's here to stir the pot at every occasion. It's like a classic comic book super villainous. And how do you feel about that? Like, how, because you've been sort of the villain so long and put in that direction, but now you seem like you're owning it. Are you enjoying that?
I think it's got to the point where I'm not taking shit anymore. Or I'm standing up for myself. So I don't mind it. I mean, I've always said if you're gonna call me a bitch, put a miss before it. That's fine. If you wanna make me the villain, then that's fine. But don't get upset when I am that person that you're making me out to be. So, like, I'm very nice and sweet. I like Lady Red, I keep to myself. I mind my own business. I'm big. I'm like an advocate on minding your own business. But I just, if it's that, if that's what they want to label me that. I take it. Label me whatever you want to label me. But when you see me, respect me. That's all that I care about.
Was there a time where after you won and there was so much, I mean, like, when did the real negativity for you start? It's been so long, Tyra. I can't even remember.
I can tell you, it started the second episode of Drag Race Season 2. It started then. After that, it was hate, hate, hate from that point on. Before I even won the show. I knew I won, so I'm sitting back and I'm like, yeah, you bitches, you wait. So I'm thinking, you know, once I win,
because there was a back in the day version where the winner was announced
before.
Well, you guys knew before it aired.
That's how it was, but I figure once this airs, then they'll be off my back, they'll leave me alone. Then they'll, respect her. She won the show. Didn't happen. Apparently, I robbed Raven. She owned the crown from season 2, and I robbed her and stole it from her. And I dealt with that for years. It never, maybe like one time, there was once. That it really got to me at one point, like an all-time low. It broke me down.
Right. And what was in particular that happened? Do you remember?
It was just a buildup of everything. When I was in Canada, I was gonna just get rid of it and be done with it.
Drag in general, you mean?
Everything. Like just I wasn't gonna deal with this earth at all. Ever
so you were thinking of killing yourself?
Yeah, I was gonna off myself because of what people were saying online to me and how the treatment that I was getting from promoters or club owners, everything. I went to a club one time. It was in Kentucky. I was booked by a promoter. When I got there, the owner realized that I was Black and he mistaken Sanchez as Latino, and I could not perform. I had to fly back home. I literally flew across the country to get in drag and perform, and then I can't perform because I'm Black. I was like, that's not cool. But it was just a lot of that stuff built up, but it was that gave me the strength, to stand up and say, I'm not gonna let these people bully me or take something from me that I rightfully earned on my own. And I think that's why I am so tough now. That's also why I don't have any sympathy for people, that commit suicide. Like, don't get me wrong, I've obviously learned telling someone to kill yourself.
You've learned
you probably should not say
they've
that.
Let you know a lot.
Yeah, I get that, but there's always help. There's always ways you can get through it. Now, empathy, I do have empathy. I do understand, but I'm not. That's the choice that you're making on your own.
So when was that how long ago was that you came to that point where you really thought you were going to end it all because of this fan negativity?
It was February 2011.
So, a while ago, but, not that long ago.
That I wasn't going to that I was going to end everything was February 2011. I was on tour in Canada. It was right after, about 6 months after I won. Well, I won in 2010, so that summer had passed, that fall and winter, and then February is when I took the tour to Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was the thing that changed your mind against it? Like, what stopped you?
Jeremiah.
Oh, you're right, your son.
That was the only thing.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him on the phone crying, and so it just happened, and I just fell asleep and was like, I'm just not gonna, I'll deal with this in the morning. And then I woke up and apparently my dad had contacted the club because I wasn't gonna go out and like tell the club, you know, like last night I really had a night, guys. You know,
right.
I gotta perform again tonight, but we're gonna ignore what happened. Like, you know, I wasn't gonna tell the club that, but it did happen. He contacted the club, they knew about it, so it was a little weird, but you know, they cheered me up.
So your dad found out that that's what you were going through. He called the club. Like, it's Mr. Sanchez calling. Tyra's had a very difficult evening.
Can you go check on him? Like all of that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And was that club nice to you?
Yeah, that club was nice.
Okay.
Yeah, Canada is always nice.
And then after that, did you think, I'm gonna make them love me? Like, was there a point that you were like, let me try to rehabilitate my image? Let me try to, you know, because it's almost an impossible task, but did you ever get there?
No, after that point, it was, I'm gonna do whatever they're saying that I'm doing wrong. I started bleaching my skin. I started like doing makeup differently. I started doing different songs. I started changing who I was to please other people.
Right.
And it still wasn't working.
Uh-huh.
And then I would say Beyonce's Formation is probably what got me in order and was like, get it together.
Oh.
And from that point on, it was fuck you and fuck you, not fuck you, Jonny.
Thank you, sweetie.
I promise you will not end up on an episode of The
I
Drag Race.
hope not.
But it was just like, you know, I don't care what people say anymore. I don't care what people think. If I continue to allow these people to make me feel that way, I won't ever live my life.
Right.
And so that's what it was.
And so now, super villainous she is, and she will be.
You take it.
Fuck them all. I mean, you're certainly not letting them, you're not trying to be sweet when you came out at the Drag Race finale. And I had to double check this with you. You said what? You mouthed it. And you said the producer said what to you backstage?
She's like, don't, you're so messy, Miss Tyra, you're so messy. I was like, hold on, girl. I'm not messy. I might be petty. I'm not messy. Just a little petty. So I'm not messy.
Now let's talk about the fans and the change in the intensity of the fans' reaction to the show over the years. Because it seems like there was obviously strong fans in season 2, but it's gone to another level now.
I think people, honestly, and this is in the back of my head and it's always there, I think there's one person that has all these accounts that's just going after every queen. That's what I ultimately think in my head. But I think the people now are really crazy. I think they get attached to these people that they see on TV, and I don't think that any of them realize that the drag queens that they see on TV aren't the people that they are in real life. Like, I can be here, like I'm sitting here and I'm talking, I'm chatting, yeah, I'm cool and relaxed, but on a day-to-day basis, this really isn't who I am. On a day-to-day basis, I don't talk. I'm not cool. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to see humans. I just want to be alone.
Right.
So, but they're crazy.
Now, let's talk about, you've mentioned this a couple times, especially in the last couple months, and you talked about it a little earlier. There seems to be some racist undertones going on with some of the fans that get hate from the big fan base. You want to expound upon that a little bit?
I think that there are, I don't know if they're meaning to be racist, or I don't know why. I know people are intentionally being racist because I've received racial slurs several times. But those people I can ignore. I think the people or the fans that have a problem are the people who don't realize that they are being racist or that they are falling into, you know, these racist tendencies. For instance, your fan favorite is usually a white queen. If not, she's black. For instance, Latrice was a fan favorite once, I believe. But it's usually that stereotype of the black mammy that it's okay for her to be black because she reminds me of, you know, home, or she's like motherly figure, or even for me, like Latrice is a motherly figure to me. She's a good friend, but you know, I go to Latrice for advice, but that's just because has nothing to do with her size or her look or her color of her skin. That's because she's a nice, genuine person. And so she does fit into that category or that stereotype because that's who she really is. Even though she's not playing off of that stereotype, that's just who she is. But when it comes to white people, that stereotype is okay because I can deal with that. Or when it comes to the fool, the black person playing the fool, for instance, I use, and I'm not calling her a fool, but I use Shangela for this because Shangela is that queen that does play off stereotypes of the black girl, you know, the hallelujah and all of that. She plays off of that. So that, again, is okay to be around white people. But if you play a queen like me who, you know, just, I don't really serve anything but glamour or sex or anything, something power. Anytime a queen is powerful or shows something that people would love or fall in love with, or that could be this major powerhouse, they tear her down. For instance, Shay gets hate. Nina Bonina Brown, when she beat out Valentina, she got so much racial hate.
That was definitely crazy.
Like, but you, in that situation, the only person that should have been getting anything was, guys should have been mad at Valentina, not this person. Or in my case, I beat out Raven. I beat out someone who they thought who is polished, or I'm a newcomer. I'm a teen and I'm black. So to beat out a white queen, that upset a lot of people. And I never saw it that way. I just, like, until I learned, like, even I recently learned people hated me because I was 21 and I did win Drag Race. When I would go to bookings, the older queens would be upset because of that. And like, it's just like different things, like, wow, is this really the world that we're living in? Is this really what I'm fighting for? Is this really what I want to be a part of?
Yeah, I mean, I remember even when Jasmine and Kennedy's season, there was a lot of racial hate given to them for what reason, I don't know.
For being themselves, for being who they are.
Interesting. And what do you think, how can that be fixed or helped?
I think, I don't think that can ever be fixed. I'm not gonna live in La La Land.
We can't, as much as I'd like to on Hey Qween, we can't solve all racial issues in one episode. Can we, Lady Red?
No.
Whoops, all right. Well, I mean, I do think that is important to put a light on some of those things, because I do think the way that the fans have gotten more and more intense, and I think maybe it's as the fans have gotten younger and younger, they lose touch with the reality.
But you would think that with the fans getting younger and younger, that the racial divide would disappear more and more instead of continuing. I think a way that we can help is if more queens came forward, and I don't mean just black queens.
Right.
I mean if more queens themselves came forward and said something about it, then maybe that could help out a bit.
The thing that Valentina got called out for on the reunion is something I think all queens who are the popular ones, the big girls, whatever it is, if your fans are the ones giving the hate, you should be calling them out, because that's not the whole purpose of Drag Race or drag or anything in general. And you should be able to enjoy queens sort of bitching at each other without wanting to slit their throats or kill them or tell them to kill themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. But that's just how it is.
Right. Well, TYRA, there's a lot you have to deal with, honey. You just moved to LA. You burned the bridge with Mickey's. You are performing everywhere.
Well, I'm banned from Mickey's for like 6 months.
For 6 months?
I can't go back.
Is that an official banning?
Yeah, it's official banning. I can't. Well, it's not an official banning. The managers banned me. I snuck in a couple weeks ago.
Oh my
I had
God.
a drink. I went to the bathroom. I had a drink, and then the bartender noticed me. He's like, they had to walk me out. But I'm not trespassed, so like they can't officially. The manager just saying you can't come in. But I'm not like, if I go there, the cops are going to be called on me.
Oh Lord, we don't need any more TMZ TYRAs at all. No more.
I am TMZ now. I spill the tea now. So.
Yes, you do. You do spill the tea. You have your own TMZ, honey. Now, a couple things I want to get before we wrap it up. How is your son doing, and what's going on?
Jeremiah is doing really good right now. It is summer vacation, so he's on tour. He's with his mom in Orlando, visiting my mom and my family. And then after that, he's on his way out here to visit me for a few months, and then off to Boston.
That'll be nice. And Morgan McMichaels is going to babysit? Just kidding. Now, whatever happened to Drag Dad?
Drag Dad has been shelved. The producers decided to shelve it for a few years because we just need more footage from
and
one.
So you need to like have a full.
Yeah.
So you did the beginning, and you need to wait a couple of years to do that.
To get more. Yeah.
That's a real pain in the ass for you, TYRA. We were promoting it 3 years ago.
I mean, well,
now it's like you're gonna shelve it for now. How many more years?
It'll probably be a while before we can see it. Even if they continue it.
Right.
Like that, you know, it's a documentary, so you never know.
Now you did. There was a cute moment with you and RuPaul at RuPaul's Emmy party where he looked at the camera and said, "Y'all leave this girl alone. She won this contest." And you were also with Morgan and Raven at that party. Anything go down? Any conversations?
Nothing had went down that day. I saw Raven for the first time since this all happened, and so I go to her. I'm like, "Hey, you know, how are you doing, sis? Whatever. Have you heard the Drag Race fans yet?" She's like, yeah. I was like, just want to make sure, you know, that they're cool. She's like, yep, I heard them. We're good. And that was it. And I left it at that.
Good. I mean, she's busy. Like, she don't gotta care, shit. She's busy painting RuPaul's face.
That was the thing from the beginning. It was never to her.
Right.
It's just minding business and people's noses, wrong spots.
Tyra, it's just the tea is delicious. I do enjoy, and I like to think of you all as the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, so you can have fights and say that people died, whatever, and not everyone take it so fucking seriously, okay? Well, let's see. You're serving Black Girl Magic. That's your latest inspiration?
That's my latest. That's all. Well, ever since I've, you know, found this newfound love of myself, I started love. I think that's what it is. I started loving myself, and I just don't give a fuck what anyone else says. I love me, and that's all that matters.
Now, was that you? Did that have to do with Formation and Beyonce in some way?
Well, Formation for me helped me fall in love with being Black. It made me appreciate being Black. It made me own up to, you're Black, and there's nothing you can do about it. Love yourself. Fuck everyone else.
Yes.
And for me, that's what Formation did.
And when you had to say you fell back in love with yourself, what in particular did you have to look at inside to kind of feel that way?
I just had to look at myself and just say you're gorgeous no matter what. I was doing stuff to make myself be the image that everyone else wanted me to be. Like if you take a photo from me, or actually if you take this episode and put it towards your last episode of me, you'll see the difference in my skin and my overall look. I was blonde hair, lighter skin, giving this image of a white woman so that it could pass over easily. Now I don't bleach my skin anymore. I go out in the daytime now. I'm out in the sun, I'm having fun. I appreciate being Black. I love being Black. I love being who I am. That doesn't mean I don't I don't appreciate white people. My boyfriend is a 22-year-old Polish guy. Right. So I live, I love everyone. It's just that guy right there, it's hot right there. But I'm proud of being Black, and I don't mean to make anyone else feel rooting or anything. It's just, I'm proud of being who I am.
Yes, honey, as you should. Miss TYRA Sanchez, everybody. Honey, it's not easy to be the most hated of them all. Keep it going, Tyra. Keep stirring the pot. Keep giving them drama. It makes it interesting. Everyone, don't take it so fucking seriously, okay?
It's drag.
It's drag, right? And Tyra, honey, thank you for coming on, being so honest, daring to risk the wrath of the comment section. We ain't listening to you, comment section, you motherfuckers. You've been delicious, tasty. You spilled a lot of tea, and honey, you snatched the trophy, Queen. Yeah.
Thank you.
And that delicious white man you saw over there is all for you, honey. You won yourself a lap dance. Yay! Give it to her good. Give it. Now you can touch. You can just the champagne room, whatever you want. That's right. Give it to she won. She won Drag Race. You gotta give her a winner's dance. Oh yeah. Now this is interesting. More delicious tea. Thank you, Lady Red. Thank you, Eric Couture. And thank you, Miss TYRA Sanchez. We'll see y'all next time on Hey Qween. Bye, baby.